My name is Chelsea. I'm the founder of Lake Design and Strategies, which is a website development and design company. So we build websites on Shopify and WordPress across different platforms. And I'm also the co-founder of Get Booking, which is a booking plugin. And my other co-founder, Michael Kogan, is in here as well. And today we are going to talk about Shopify. And really, I'm not going to do a lot of talking. I'm going to do a lot more showing. So what I'm going to attempt to do today within an hour time frame is kind of to show you how to build a website on Shopify within an hour from, sign up to launch. So that whenever we think about building online stores or building websites, yeah, it takes a lot of work and there's a lot of proponents to it, but there is a way, to sign up, get all the necessary info in and start selling immediately, and then start working on building it up over time. I really do believe, you just have to get started, and that's really what the most important thing is. So that's where we're kind of going to start.
Super cool. I'm really excited for this, Chelsea, and I'm excited to learn more about Shopify too. So we just want to start with quick introductions with everyone in the room, and then a few more people come in. And then at about 5 to 10 after, I'll switch the host over to you, Chelsea, and then you can get started on the presentation. So Tamara, if you want to do a quick introduction. Oh, you're muted there.
Muted again.
There we go.
Hey guys, my name is Tamer Salim. I am the owner of Tamara International. And at the moment we are actually working on procuring our first container of hand sanitizers, our own brand, Germ Shield. It has been approved by both Health Canada and the FDA. And we are actually planning to use Shopify in order to sell this online.
That's awesome. That's perfect then. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm just excited to see how to deal with Shopify, guys. I need your help.
Perfect.
Thank you, Chelsea.
That's awesome. I'm excited for that. Michael, if you want to do a quick introduction.
Sure. Okay, there I go. So I'm Michael Kogan. I'm the co-founder of Lake Design and Get Booking alongside with Chelsea Lake. And what we do is offer businesses, particularly those in the local community, with web design and development solutions and help them build with their e-commerce websites and various custom development projects.
Cool. Awesome.
You have you'll have first customers soon.
That's right.
Great.
This is such a great connection. Chelsea and Michael sit right behind Tamara in the zone. So now we all know each other. Awesome. Trisha, do you want to do a quick introduction? Oh, you're on mute there. I can unmute you.
Oh,
there we go.
I should have done it. I've been doing Zoom all since COVID. So I'm a local artist, and I have stuff all through town and that, but I'm actually just starting a jewelry line that I am looking to put online. And so I've been looking into Shopify and Squarespace. So I'm hoping to get more information on this, and then maybe what the differences are, if you know. If not, I'll still be researching, but I'm hoping to launch it within the next, June? So by August, I'd like to have it launched, because I'm in the middle of building all the pieces right now. So it will be like a jewelry line as well as art prints and some watercolor cards.
Awesome. This is perfect then.
Sweet. John Kimmel, do you want to do a quick introduction?
Hi, my name's John Kimmel. Is that quick enough or no? I wanted to see what all this fuss is about Shopify. So this isn't Spotify, right? Shopify?
Yes, Shopify.
Great. No, I'm just listening along and very interested. So thanks for putting this on. I think it's very timely.
Sweet, I agree. We've got a couple more people. Vishal?
Yeah, hi. My name is Vishal, and I wanted to know more about Shopify, so I joined this meeting, and probably I would be putting online some of my wife's painting. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Cool, lots of artists in the room. And then last but not least, for who we have in here right now, Jessica.
Hi. This is my very first time using, oh, there we go, look, video. I don't know what I'm doing on Zoom, really. Chelsea is my sister. So she told me I should come to this because I own Meadowsweet Marketplace. I make handmade signs, and I'm starting to do some other things, and getting online eventually is something I'm interested in. So here for the knowledge.
What a cool family. I love it. All right, sweet. So we are expecting a few more people. And Chelsea, you and I were briefly chatting. I'll just have to pass the host on to you so you can share your screen. So if you do see anyone else pop in, it should pop up on the participants bar at the bottom. Now, one sec. Let me just make you the host. Sweet. And now you should be able to share your screen and get started whenever you like, Chelsea.
Perfect. Okay, and I know when I share my screen, I'm not going to be able to see anyone in the chat section. So if you do write something in there, Rachel, I guess you'll just like shout out to me to check it out.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. Sweet.
All right. And like I mentioned before, let me share my entire screen here. So you're all going to see yourself for a second. Cool. Like I mentioned before, with Shopify, you know, I could spend like 20 to 30 hours in a Shopify store building it. Like that's something that I like to do. And there's always different little customizations and components to building an online store. But do you need to spend that long? Is it really important to do that just to get off the ground and start running? No. So what I want to show you guys today is, you know, we're going to start right now just signing up for a free trial, and I'm going to go through kind of the steps of what it takes to just get, you know, your first 2 products online and start selling within the next hour. So that's pretty big, but I think we can get through it all. And just so everyone knows, this is all going to be totally recorded, so you don't have to worry about, you know, trying to take notes or following along too much, because it's all going to be there after the fact. So if you see something that I do and you want to make sure you don't forget to do that, don't worry, it'll be there. Okay, so first things first, like why Shopify and why is Shopify getting all this buzz? I only have 4 slides today, and this is one of them. So Shopify has an incredible amount of users and stores. They have a ton of third-party developer support. So that means that there's tons of other people out there just building apps to work with Shopify. So say you're a store and you want to build bundles. There's an app out there that will help you build bundles. You're a store and you want to link directly into FedEx. There's an app out there that will link you directly into FedEx. A lot of the time when we're talking about Shopify compared to Squarespace or compared to Wix or compared to WordPress, the reason why most people go with Shopify at the end of the day is that they have this huge app network, and you can do everything within Shopify without having to, you know, outsource it into something else or try to hook it into another program. And it's just the most simple and easy solution to selling online. And that's why they're growing so fast.
Such as what?
Such as?
Like, give an example, because I know, like, I have a Wix site, and I know it has tons and tons of apps, so I'm trying to see, you know.
Right, like the build a box, or if you need different payment processors, that kind of thing. So Wix, I believe it only integrates with 1 or 2 different payment processors. Whereas with Shopify, you can check out through Apple Pay, through PayPal, through almost all credit cards. You can do one-click checkouts. The shipping's really anything you could possibly imagine. It really just depends on your needs. And pricing wise too, it's super competitive, and they have really great support. So that would be another part of why I would always suggest to go Shopify over any others. If you're doing shipping. So if you're just doing like pickup and delivery, I wouldn't necessarily say, hey, go to Shopify. But if you are doing the shipping part of it, I would say go to Shopify, because they have all the shipping options worldwide built in. The taxes part, they have it all figured out already. Especially when it comes to, if say you needed to do something overnight, or you only had a sort of shipping frame for certain parts of the world at certain times of the year, you can set all that up. It's just hugely customizable.
What options of shipping do they allow? Like, I have an Etsy shop, which I basically have it so I do Etsy fairs because
Right.
I'm not really trying to do it on there because the setting up shipping and everything is a hassle.
Right.
And so, and you have to pre-know everything. You
And
can't set up and go back.
And that's kind of the thing too, is that when you say what kind of shipping options do they have, it's such a broad question because what don't they have? Like you can integrate with any shipping processor. So if you want to,
FedEx,
exactly,
Canada,
UPS,
okay.
Canada Post, you can have a label printer directly into your shop hooked up. So then when an order goes through on Shopify, it prints the label out in your shop that you slap on the box and you ship it. But see, that's just one option. There's so many different options. And that's why when we go through this, it can feel a little overwhelming, but let's just like go through the basics. And I'm going to go through shipping around number 8 here. So whenever we get there and you can see the screen that I'm going to show you, it's probably going to be much easier to understand. Because really, I could talk about this stuff all day, but showing you and showing you what it looks like and just how easy it is to set up, that's really where you're gonna learn and see what you're asking for here. So let me open up my screen. So if you want to set up a Shopify store, we go to shopify.com. Easy peasy. And we click on start a free trial. So when I click on start a free trial, it's just going to ask me for an email address. So I put in my email, create a password, create a store name. So I would do webinar store test and click create my store. Once I create my store, it's going to bring me to this page. So it's going to load this up. Tell us a little bit about yourself. So you can choose, I'm just playing around. Like, this is great. Everyone should do this. Even like right now, you can follow along and sign up as we go. I'm selling, just not online yet. So I'll choose that. What do I want to sell? Both online and in person. I sell at markets and fairs. So this is just generally, they're asking me a little bit of questions. This way, whenever I get in here, they know this information about me. So if I contact support, they're going to have a little information about what I'm doing. So I'm going to say, yes, I'm designing, developing a store for a client. Next page, they're going to ask me some information about my business. This is just for payment purposes. So it's a super simple setup. And then I just click create my store. I'll give it a minute to catch up with me. Okay, awesome. So this is the dashboard inside of Shopify. And there's a lot of things in here, but we're going to go through the most important ones today. That will be, this is what you need to do to set up your shop. So first things first, I'm going to click on this online store button over here, and it's going to load this main page. So the great thing about Shopify is it comes with all these pre-created themes. And why this is so wonderful is that I'm able to choose a theme and just plug and play the things I need in here without having to build something from scratch. And it can be really easy to get lost in like all the different themes and all the different customizations that you can possibly choose because there are so many. So I'm just going to click on the free themes. And as you can see, they have clothing ones, they have ones for watches, there's ones here for coffee, pasta, etc. All this really is, all you're really doing here when you're looking at these themes is you're choosing how you want to display your store. So you can spend, half an hour, 2 hours looking at these things, choosing your favorite one. But at the end of the day, they all kind of do something very similar in that they are just a way to display your store, and it's really about preference. So I'm going to choose this one called Narrative. I think it looks great. I've used it before on other stores, and it's free. The themes do range in prices, so you can buy some for like $200, $300, etc., or you can just use a free one. Usually why you would buy a paid one is because they offer much more customization in how they display your products. So if you have products that have multiple colors and multiple sizes or multiple different variations of something, you might want to get a paid theme that really specializes on how they show those products. So that's something just to think about whenever you're thinking about, okay, what do I want my product to look like? Check out some of the themes and how they're displaying that, and that'll give you a good understanding of how they do that. And everyone's different, so it's really just a preferencing. No matter what theme you pick, you're going to be gold anyway. So then I'm going to click on customize. So this is where we're going to start. We're just going to start setting up the very basics of our Shopify website by putting in a logo, by throwing in some text. So what I'm going to do for this Shopify store for you guys is I'm going to do the PEI seafood box. I have some of their branding and their imagery, and that's what I'm going to base my store on, just as an example. So how I would start this is I'm going to click on my header, and I'm going to upload my logo really quick. And I just want to show you how easy this is to come together. So I click on my logo, press select, it shows up over here for me. Awesome. And I can size it right here to whatever I want it to be, center it, make it left aligned. Great. I can click this show announcement bar up here, and when it shows up, all I have to do is write something in here like free shipping across Canada. And it's as simple as that. It already comes with the menu in for the home page and your catalog page. So this is just really the beginning of setting up the website. And what we're going to do, save it. What we're going to do is just create that slider above the fold, just to show you, as long as you have a couple pictures, this is how quick it is to set this up, and really, really easy to make live. Just give me 1 second. I'm just going to make this theme live. And just so you know too, as it says up here, online store is password protected. This means that as you're building and as you're putting in these pictures and everything, even though your website is live and you can see it, no one else can unless they actually have the password to get on the website. So that's something we shut off at the very, very end whenever we are ready for other people to see it.
Does it matter what size the images are?
So whenever you're uploading your logo like this one, you want it to be at least, I'm going to say, like 700 pixels wide. You want it to be really clear image, but really once you upload it, you can adjust it in here, the height of how big and how little you want it to be. Really though, your branding expert or your logo designer, they will give you a logo that's going to be the right size for your store. Like if you need a PNG of that logo, you should be able to ask them and they'll be able to give you exactly what you need.
Yeah, no, I'm my own logos designer. I'm talking more the
Awesome.
like your when I put in my jewelry. Okay, I guess the question I'm asking: can anyone opposite click and save an image that you have put on your website, or is it automatically locked?
On Shopify, they do lock it.
Okay, that's good. No, that's why I'm asking, because a lot of mine, as I say, part of it will be artwork, and on my website I do have it locked. I want to know if Shopify does. Because the other thing is, because obviously you want at least 72 DPI because it's a website. But if you've got a 300 DPI one, will it be too much for the website because it's going to use more web space up? Is there a limit?
Right. So you're going to want to have your pictures web optimized, which just means save them in Photoshop in a resolution that's, it's going to, you want to keep it high, but you want all your pictures to realistically be under like 100 or 200 KB, because you don't want your load speed to be affected.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So we have our logo in, we have our cool announcement bar up here. Awesome. Over here, I can see, they have this tell your story slider. Awesome. Image with text. Cool. Video background. Tell us about your brand. Some images, a testimonial. Obviously, I'm not going to use all this, but they're just letting me know, like, here's everything this theme can do if you want to use it. I'm going to delete the majority of this and just stick with this slider for now. And I would suggest that everyone have something above the fold with a picture of your product and your headline having a call out of, this is what my brand is, this is what we're selling. So I'm going to select an image, just one I have here. So we're selling lobster, we're selling these seafood boxes. Cool, here's a really awesome image by the local legend, Rachel Peters, photographer extraordinaire. She took this for the PEI seafood box. Great. And then I'm going to grab a headline. So I'm just gonna sink this down a bit. I have a few things in here. Copy it in, get the island's freshest seafood overnight. Great. My view more button, I'm gonna say shop now, and I'm going to link it to my products page. Perfect, so we have that showing up, excellent. And really this is all we need right here. I'm just letting people know, you know, this is what I am, shop now. So in the theme settings, when I click over here, I can choose different colors, I can choose different fonts. So for example, if I don't want this serif font in here, I'm going to type in a font that I actually like. And if I want it to be bolded, I'm going to put it in bold and select it. So there's really no limit here, again, to customizing how this looks. It's super simple. I just click and go, putting in all my primary colors. So if it's blue, if it's red, if it's orange, etc., really easy. Throw it here. It's going to affect your buttons. It's going to affect this announcement bar. And it just makes it really easy to set up. So let me get rid of some of these since we don't need them. And I'm going to add one that we are going to use. And this is how I would suggest anyone just set up their store to begin with, is have that above the fold slider set up, have a little bit of an about section, and then have your product section. And that's it to begin. That's all we need to start. So here we go, Island Seafood Box. Here's my about section, talk about your brand. We'll just pretend that's filled in because we don't need to. And then we're going to add a section and we're going to call it the featured collection. So right now there's nothing showing up here except this example content because I haven't yet set up my collection. But with that being said, the next thing we're going to do now that we have this basic setup with our logo and our colors and our new image, we're going to go in and create our first product. And I'm going to show you how easy that is as well. Okay, so let me save this. And I'm going to go in. To products. So products are found just right over here. We're going to add our first product. So this is really honestly pretty straightforward, but there is a few little things you need to know in order to get things to flow really smoothly from the beginning and you don't go back and need to edit a bunch of different things. And I'll show you why in a second. So let's say I'm adding my first product. I'm going to call it Lobster Lovers 6-pack. So that's just the title of my product. In the description, this is where I write everything about the product. So this could be ingredients. This could be materials used. This could be the colors it comes in. This is what they read when they get there. So I could say, you know, 6 1.25-pound lobsters. Obviously for this one, like materials, lobster, there's nothing I can really write here that's going to make any sense. So that's really all I need to say. I could say, you know, from PEI, and I can write a little information about this product. So really that's completely up to you. In the media section, I'm going to upload a picture that relates to this. So I'm saying 6. I have an awesome picture here again from Rachel Peters with 6 pictures of 6 lobsters in the picture. I write in my price. So if it's $100 for these, great. Do I charge tax on this item? Select this button. And then this compare at price. So this would be if it's on sale. So if it is on sale, throw something in there. If it's not, just leave it blank. Keep going. We can put our quantity available. I'm just going to put it at 100. It's a physical product. And then I would add a weight. So right here, this weight, I select this because this is what's going to affect my shipping rates. So as it says here, used to calculate shipping rates at checkout and label prices during fulfillment. So you want to fill this out, especially if you're going to be using the Shopify shipping. But like I said before, there's so many different ways to do shipping, but this is one of the easiest. So fill out your weight here of what it would cost, or how much it weighs, whenever you put your box together of this product and you're going to mail it. Weigh that so you know that whenever the shipping goes out to wherever it's going to go, Shopify is going to be able to calculate that shipping price based on the weight. All right, and then I put in my info about the product. So Canada, PEI, awesome. And if there was variance, there is no variance in this one because we're just keeping it simple for now. You would select this button and you could add them in here. So this would be like color, sizes, etc. Of paintings perhaps, or of different stones if it was jewelry, or different colors if it was clothing. There's really endless possibilities to the kind of variance you can add. And then the last but not least thing that you want to do is give it some tags. And the reason why you want to give it tags is so that they go into collections. And I'm going to explain collections right after we make our first product. So tags, all they are is a descriptor of what is the product actually is. So for example, this is a lobster. It's seafood. It's in a box. It's island made. There's 4 great tags. I would want to do this for all my products, and I'm going to show you why. So let me save this. Awesome, I just created my very first product. And let's click on collections. So collections, to put it really simply, is basically a grouping. So if I am creating jewelry and I have rings and I have necklaces, those are 2 different collections. My rings are a collection, my necklaces are a collection, and I may have 20 to 25 to 50 different products under each collection. So for this one, I'm going to use a PEI seafood box. It's the collection. I'm going to have 5 different kinds of seafood boxes, 5 different products under this collection. And this just helps keep our store organized. So even if you only have 1 kind of product and 1 kind of collection, you do want to create this no matter what, because it's just how Shopify runs, and it's going to make setting up your store super, super simple. So I can add a little description in here of this. I have one already written out. This is what my collection entails. Here's what you'll find in here. And the way we want to set this up is the automated way. So I could go through and add products manually over and over again. But say I start adding new products, I add like 5 new rings one day, 5 new rings the rest. I don't want to have to come into each collection and add those manually over time. And that's why it's really, really important to set up those tags on the products in the beginning. Because now what I'm going to do is say, if a product tag is equal to, for example, lobster, then they are part of this collection. So another way I could say that is if a product tag is equal to rings, so those products have the tag ring on it, then they will be added into this collection automatically, and I don't have to worry about it. So now in the future, whenever I'm adding, 5 new products, 10 new products, and I tag those products with ring or with lobster, they're automatically going to be added into this collection and ready for sale. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Let me just add a collection image. So I have this one already pre-created, PEI seafood box, and I'm going to save this. Awesome, and if I scroll down, I can already see it has that product in here because it was tagged with that tag. So I'm going to create one more product just so we can see it on the front end, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, I'm gonna call this one date box and it's a 12 pack. And I'll just write 12, 1.25 pound lobsters, description, info. Great. I'm gonna upload my image like I did before. Maybe I'll add 2 this time. And you can add as many images as you want. You can also add videos, and videos are a really, really good selling point, but we can get into that in a minute. Throw my stock in there and my weight. All right, so I'm just gonna make sure I tag it with the lobster tag so it goes into the correct collection, and I'm gonna save it. So now when I go back to my collections and I click into the PEI seafood box and I scroll down, I can see that new product I just added is in here because it has the same tag. So this is how we want to set things up so that when we go to our front end and we start setting up our store, everything is organized properly right from the beginning. So now I already have 2 products ready to go and ready to sell. So let's just go back and look at our store. I'm going to click on customize. And let it load. Okay, perfect. So here's the store. I'm already got set up. Got my above the fold, got my about section, and now I just need to set up this featured collection, which I just added my products to. So I'm going to click on select collection. There it is, PEI seafood box, and there's my 2 products. Perfect. Let me move this over here. So this is set up to be 2 rows, which is no big deal because all I have to do is come down here and adjust it to be what I like, which will be 2 rows, 2 products, because that's all I have right now. We can have a view all button show up below. You can show product vendors, you don't need to, totally up to you. And then it says featured collection, so I would just rename this to our seafood boxes. Really up to you how you want this to look. But right now, I pretty much have a store completely created that I'm ready to sell from, at least design-wise from the front end. I've added products, they're in there, they're priced, everything looks good, it's branded, fantastic. Let's look at our menu really quick here. If I click on this, I can see
on the front page. How many products should you have on your front page?
It's really up to you, and there is a formula to this. So exactly how a Shopify store should be laid out for max sales. And I can give that to you, and there is a course actually created around that whole entire thing of, this is exactly how your shop should look. It should have the slider, it should have the about, it should have your featured collection, it should have a featured product, and then you want to do a video, and they really break it down, and they tell you exactly why and how you want to have 3 products in a grid instead of 4 products in a grid because you'll get higher sales that way. There really is a science to all of this, and it is something that I can share with you after. It's through the Digital Marketer e-commerce program, and I'm going to show you that link at the very end of this. So if anyone wants to have any more information about, how can I really maximize my sales through this, it's great. I've done the course. You can get certified, and that way you can really make the most of this. I could do a whole entire webinar just on e-commerce emails as well, because that's a huge part of making sales through Shopify. But I'm just going to stick with the basics right now, and I'll show you that at the very end. So just sticking with the nav right now, we have our home and our catalog page. Really, this is enough to get started, but the one thing we want to add to our store before we go live is probably a contact page, because you have your home, you have your catalog, cool, people can order, but can they contact you? Let's set that up really quickly. I'm going to go into my online store right here and click on pages and add a page. I'm going to call it contact us. Please contact us with any questions. You fill out your information here. The awesome part about this is that you don't have to do anything else. This page suffix over here, you click on it, you click on page.contact, you click save, and it automatically is creating this contact page for you with a contact form. Already ready to go, already on the page. They're already ready for you to do this, so it takes 2 seconds to set it up, and now I just need to add it to my menu. So I click on navigation, I click on my main menu, and then let it load. And I add this menu item. And then I call it Contact Us. I'll go into my pages, add it in. Perfect. I don't really like the word catalog, so I'm just going to call it our products. Perfect. I'm going to save it. And now when I refresh my store, I'm going to see when I click on my menu that that Contact Us page is now added in here. So this is really the most basic and the least amount of pages you need to start your store. But this is where I recommend you do start, because you don't need to have, all the information and all the different FAQs and about section right off the bat. This is a great place to start. Home products, contact us. And then now we're ready to set up the back end. So really our front end is totally ready to go. We could start selling with it looking just like this, but we need to set up some of the admin information. And where I'm going to start, and I'll just share this with you again so you can see. We're going to talk about the preferences. We're going to talk about the payment gateways. We're going to talk about shipping, taxes, the terms of service. So this includes like your privacy policy, your refund policy, etc. And then just launching the store. Okay. So under here, there's this thing called preferences. And if I click on it, this is really how I show up to the rest of the internet. So under the homepage title, the PEI seafood box is what I would run right here. The meta description really explains what my business is, what I'm selling, and who I am. You get 320 characters. And this is how search engines, like it says here, like Google, they crawl your store, they see who you are, they want to be able to rank you, they want to be able, when people search you, for you to show up on Google under the correct results. So this is where you give them that information to make it easier on them to show up on Google and how you'll show up. So fill this stuff out. It's very important. Your social sharing image, so you can upload a picture here so when someone shows your shop on social media, on Facebook or Twitter, Instagram, this is the picture that's going to pop up with your store. So you want this to be something that really represents your business. You can upload it here. This is where you put your Google Analytics code, where you put your Facebook code. And then whenever we're ready to go live, we would uncheck our enable password.
What is your Google Analytics code?
So Google Analytics is basically something you would set up altogether outside of Shopify. It's it's a way to track every single person that goes on your website and how they got there. Did they come through social media? Did they come through Google? It's really just a way to gather information. So you set that up through Google. And they give you a little piece of code that you would just paste right in here, and that's how it tracks everything. The Facebook pixel is really similar. So in Facebook, you can create a pixel, which you just pop that ID in here, and that's how they track everyone that's come through Facebook. And they have their own dashboard, very similar to Google Analytics, where they tell you, here's the people that came to your website, here's their age, here's their genders, here's where they work, here's what they do, gives you all kinds of information. So this kind of data is really invaluable, because once you have enough customers coming to your website, you know so much more about the people you're selling to. Are they male or female? What age bracket are these people in? How much money do they make a year? What kind of cars do they drive? What other businesses do they like? Which will really give you an opportunity to partner with other businesses. So if I know from my analytics or my Facebook pixel that people that come to my store to buy also really, really love shopping at Stir It Up at Founders, then I might go to Stir It Up at Founders and say, hey, do you want to partner on a giveaway or a prize or something? Because we know people that love our stuff, love your stuff. And it's just a really great way to start collaborating and start marketing, because you can market to people that also like those businesses. So information gathering like this, analytics and pixels, put it in right from the beginning, because even if you're not starting to market until a year down the road or 2 years down the road, you're just doing this 1 hour quick setup. I want to get my store up. I want people to be able to buy tomorrow morning. If you have these codes in here, they will be gathering data over the next year of everyone that ever comes to your store. And once you have all this data and you're ready to use it a year from now, you're not going to be starting from scratch, which is unfortunately how most businesses are right now. Once they figure out that they need to start marketing, they hadn't set this up and they're starting from scratch. So that's a really good opportunity. Just throw it in there, let it start gathering data. Then when you're ready to do something, it's already all there. And that's really the goal. So this is definitely important to set up. And if you need help setting up analytics or pixels, legitimately just email Rachel, because this is something we do every single day and it's quick for us, and and it's not that easy to do, unfortunately. Setting up a Facebook pixel, setting up analytics, they do not make it easy. Their platforms aren't user friendly. So if you need help with that, just reach out and we can set that up for you. Okay, so preferences and SEO. So that's really what this is SEO, making sure Google can rank you so that you can be found. Okay, so next thing I need to be able to do is for people to actually be able to make payments on my store. So I'm going to click on this payment section. And actually, I'm going to go back to the settings just for a second, because really, when you're setting up your store and we're going through our settings, we're going to end up clicking into all of these at some point to set them up. But there is some really important ones just right off the bat: your payments, your shipping, your taxes, and over here, the legal side of things. And otherwise, everything else kind of has a more generic setup, but it doesn't really matter because it works. So I'm going to click on payments. And just to show you how simple this is too, I'm not going to set this up right off the bat, but to complete an account setup so that you can take, Apple Pay, Google Pay, Interact, Amex, Visa, MasterCard, all of it. You can set up directly through Shopify payments, and they make it super simple by just click connect your Shopify payments. They ask you a few questions about your business, your personal details. They want to know which bank account to deposit the money into, and that's it. You complete your setup. Your point of sales is already done. It's integrated, the end. They also allow you to do PayPal, so you can do through that. And then there's other third-party providers. So really, this is if you have already, like, say you were going through Moneris, selling in your brick and mortar, and you wanted to be able to hook that up through here. You can do that. They have a ton of other alternate payment methods, a ton of other third-party providers. But honestly, doing it through Shopify payments is the easiest way to go, and it's what I would recommend to everyone. They have a really great fee, the 2.4%. This is really competitive. I think Square is like 2.9%. I think Stripe is as well. So it's a great deal. So that's where I would start. Hook up your bank account to this. Awesome. We'll pretend I hooked it up. I'm ready to start taking payments. Great. And then I would go into my shipping. So shipping is truly the most trickiest and the hardest part about setting up a Shopify store, because there's a ton of decisions that go into setting up your store for shipping. We can go with Shopify's rates that they're going to give us right off the bat. For this store in particular, for example, because it's fresh lobster, I need to hook this up to my carrier through FedEx, which only does overnight shipping, which is going to cost a lot more for shipping, but at the same time, it's the only thing I can do in order to make sure my products get to their people on time. So in this case, I would want to come down here to do carrier accounts and fulfillment service. I want to integrate directly into FedEx, or I want to integrate directly into Canada Post or US UPS. There's a ton of different ways to do this, and this is totally up to your discretion. And this is the part where I'd say, do your research on this, on how you want to do it. But also know, if you want to get your store up on this day and you want to start selling tomorrow, you can come back a week from now, 2 weeks from now, and adjust this and start again and, try one carrier and then do another. And there's a simple way to just start things right off the bat and then come back and adjust it later. So let's just even start with local pickup, because we have local pickup, local delivery, and then we have shipping. So local pickup, I would go in, I select it, I can do local pickup. I put in my pickup times. I can say, hey, 4 hours, 24 hours, 5 days. I really select this based on my needs. It has my address in here. And then here's my pickup instructions. So whenever someone buys from me and they select pickup, this is email that's going to go out to them so they know, hey, come to my front door, make sure you're here within this time. Or, hey, come here, pop your trunk, and we'll put it in the back of your trunk so that we don't interact because of COVID. And this is really a huge plus right now because of COVID. They have this ability to do these local pickups and to do these local deliveries without needing to interact with our customers face to face. So again, local delivery, I can click it on. I could put the postal codes I'll deliver to, or I could just set a delivery radius, which is way easier once I verify my location. So if I just wanted to deliver into Charlottetown, I can set what that will look like on the map. So I know that, hey, okay, here's my delivery radius. This is the only people I'm selling to. Awesome. My delivery price can be free. It can be $5. And then again, all my information in here that the people that are going through the checkout, they're going to get in their email so they know when I deliver, they have to be home, or they need to have someone sign at the door to confirm they got the order. So this is where all this information goes. So those two are really straightforward. And then let's click on manage rates. So we're going to go in to our shipping rates. So Shopify already comes with some pre-selected shipping information for us. I'll just let it load. Awesome, there we go. So it's using my address as the shipping from address, which I can change. And then it will ship to, and since I'm in Canada, it's going to start with Canada as a zone. So there's different zones of shipping. So for example, for Shopify, they start you off with Canada, the US, and then kind of the rest of the world. And you can create your own shipping zones within the rest of the world, but this is how they start you off. So within Canada, they'll tell you the price per package based on weight. And this is why we added the weight to those products that we set up, so that it automatically calculates on checkout how much something's going to be based on the weight. And it will give me all of these rates already set up for me, so I don't really have to do anything at all. Same with the US, it does the same thing for them. And then for the rest of the world, I will have to set that up and figure that out myself, but it does have the Canada Post rates from Shopify shipping in here. So say, for example, I wanted to create a shipping zone to, I'm just going to delete these actually, because why not? Let's start from scratch. I wanted to create a shipping zone to Canada. Awesome. 13 out of 13 provinces, and you can select which provinces you want to ship to. You can set up your own rates in here, or you can use a carrier app to calculate the rates. So this is what I was talking about before, how the Canada Post has the discounted rates from Shopify shipping. So you can just use them in order to set up your rates, and they do it all for you, which is great. That's what we just seen. But if you want to set up your own, which some people do in the very beginning because they don't want to bother with making it extra complicated and figuring it all you have to do is name your rate. So I could put it in standard, and I could say I have a flat fee of $12 at checkout here for Canada, and I have an expedited one, and it's $22. So if you already know what your rates are going to be and it's pretty standard across the board and you don't want to worry about calculating all the weights for all your packages, et cetera, some people don't, just put in your standard rate of shipping or your expedited rate of shipping, and this will apply across the board. So tons of people started this way. So it's really up to you how you want to do it. Setting up these shipping zones, it can be a little annoying and it can be a little complicated, but again, it's really a personal preference of who you want to choose and why. So if I want to integrate directly with FedEx or UPS, I have to integrate with them through this third-party integration. If I want to do it directly through Canada Post, I can do that through Shopify since they directly integrate into it. There is literally any way you can package this, a way for you to customize it so that you can ship to whatever province you want for whatever price range you want based on weight or just based on a single price tag that you feel comfortable with. And I know there was a question about this. Does this look pretty straightforward, or does this look like something you feel like you can navigate, or you would probably want to dive into more?
Oh, it's still a pain.
Shipping is always a pain, and it's usually one of the very last things that we always do. The second last thing, so really taxes is last because it's also a pain. But the shipping part is through Shopify is great because with Canada Post, they also allow you to have these shipping labels that print out directly to your store. All you need is the printer, and you can buy that through the Shopify hardware store if you like. So this is great if you're doing a ton of orders a day, if you're doing, 30, 40 orders a day, and you just want to pop it out, slap it on your box and ship it off. If you're doing something more boutique-y and maybe you get one order every couple days, for myself and my own store, I just had a straight up, this is how much it is for shipping. It was $10 a package. I filled out my own shipping label and I shipped it just because that was easiest for me and I didn't really need the whole package.
If you set up your own rate on there,
mm-hmm.
will the shipping label still print it that way, or does it have to be the Canada Post shipping rate?
I think if you're setting up your own rate, you can adjust it with the Canada Post rates. So I kind of yes and no. If I set up my very own rate in here, I can still print it off through my label printer. But let me start again. So say I had specific rates set up through Canada Post. If I wanted to input all those in there, I can still have that label be able to print for me. So that's your question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because definitely. I find, because Etsy does the same thing with the Canada Post doing their own rates and whatever.
Right.
I find they're more expensive than actually what is needed.
Right.
Because I've actually sat there and weighed something out and then gone to Canada Post and said, how much is this? It was significant difference.
Right.
So the recommendation I would recommend is that everyone have a postal scale that they can weigh their stuff and then determine if they're going to go with those rates or not. But, some items, like if you're sending just a little art card, what they were saying for the rate
mm-hmm.
was more than the art card. So no one's going to buy it. So it's that sort of thing. And that's where you set up a flat rate.
Exactly. And the thing is too, you can use all the shipping rates that they give you for certain products. But if there is some a flat card that you want to specifically say for these very specific products, I want it to be a flat rate of this much, you can do that too.
Yeah.
So you can set it up so that very specific products have their very own shipping rates, which is something that I also have done in the past when I wanted to make sure if something was going to BC or if something was going to Nova Scotia, if it was just something small and little, that the price for shipping wasn't going to be more than the product itself.
Exactly.
Because even if I did maybe lose out on $1 or $2 because of shipping, that was okay with me in that specific circumstance because people were more likely to buy it if the shipping rate wasn't going to be more than the product itself.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you can set it up to be both. Really with the shipping, it is really the sky's the limit. We can really do anything here. So for example, for this one, what I did is I set it up through FedEx so that it would only give the person the option to ship overnight. So it was more expensive, but it allowed people to get their lobster on time, and I couldn't allow them to get it 3 to 5. Yeah, exactly. They couldn't buy it for 3 to 5 days. So it's good that I'm able to manage that inside of here, and then it manages people's expectations too. So I'll just give you a little preview of that. So say I added this half lobster lovers into my cart. It's $97, and I'm filling out my information. Cool, this is where I want them to ship it to. So this is the shipping rate it's going to give me. It's $54 for shipping, priority overnight, to get to me this lobster box. That's really expensive, but at the same time, this is a priority overnight shipping, and I need to be able to get it fast, and that's why it's only giving me this option. So this is how it will show up. So if I could do pickup or delivery, that would also show up in here too. And this is a live site right now, so that's why it won't show up in here. So then the very last thing we need to do before we can go live, actually there's 2 more things, is set up our taxes. So I'm just going to open that and set up our legal, and they kind of go hand in hand.
Sorry, Chelsea, I have just 2 questions here before we move into the next point. Number 1, can I set up more than one location, pickup location? So for example, I will have a warehouse already in Toronto, okay, and I will have a smaller one on the island. Can I set up both locations on Shopify? And we can also, through this, we can arrange territory. So whoever customer will come from Toronto area, they will be, the goods will be shipped from them from that location. Local here on the island, it will be from the island. Can I do that or not?
Right now they have it so that whatever your business address is, so if I signed up under my business address, that's the location that's offering the pickup. Can you add more pickup locations? I am almost certain there's an app for that. And I can even Google it now and see. So that's the thing, like through Shopify, you can set yourself up with one location right off the bat. Awesome.
Usually your office location is different than your warehouse location.
True. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So you can set up your warehouse location as the location.
Okay. Second point, you mentioned something about, free shipping all over Canada. If you make this in the website and you come back again and you charge shipping to your customers, this is illegal, right?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Again, you mentioned at the top of your page,
free shipping.
Free shipping over Canada. So you have to pay for the shipping, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So what most people do is they would work that shipping price into their product price.
But for example, if I have 100 ml of a hand sanitizer, which is cost the customer $5, you don't like to pay $50 shipping.
Right.
I would remove the free shipping and I would publish the rates of those shippers and let the customer, pick it up or choose, and the price will be just only added to his total bill at the end of the cut, right? Before checking.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you definitely don't need to add free shipping across Canada or anything like that.
Legal thing. You cannot say that and then.
No, you can say free shipping, but you actually have to give it as free shipping.
Give them.
She didn't actually do that in the demo because she was showing you how to set up the shipping rate, but there was an option just to click on free shipping instead, so you can either eat the shipping price or you build it into your product price.
Mm-hmm.
And this up here can say anything you want it to say. It can say, get your lobster overnight, or it can say anything. Really, this is just a way to get people to click on it to check out your products. So this can be anything you want it to be.
And more people like free shipping. So if you can build it into your product and it doesn't look like your product's over expensive, then they go, oh, well, I'm just, because there's some people who refuse to pay shipping. They will look for websites that will only offer free shipping.
That's very true.
It's built into the product price. So you're really still paying it, but it's like, okay, I'm not paying it above and beyond. So I'm okay because I'm looking at, I'm buying this mug for $40. If that's all I'm paying, great. As opposed to I'm paying $40 and then I have another $20 for shipping. If you've said, oh, my mug is $60, okay, that's a handmade mug. I'll take it for $60. No shipping. Wow. That sort of a thing. That's all.
I would say, if your product price is cheaper than your shipping price, then it may be good to look into like having some of that shipping cost in your product. A general rule of thumb, I think. All right.
You're no sound.
Any other questions before we go into the legal side?
Vishral had one. He said, I have to move to a different meeting in 3 minutes. One quick question. Can Shopify help in Google search results priority listing too?
Can Google help in priority?
Can Shopify help in Google search results priority listing too?
As a priority listing. So whenever you create any website at all, Google takes time to recognize you as a real legit site, as a real legit authority, SEO wise, as long as you're using your tags, as long as you're putting in headlines, as long as you filled out that preference section, Google will crawl you, and it is really good for SEO. Is it better than any other platforms? I wouldn't really say that. It's about equal. Like, you know, it's Google, they just want to show people the right information and the right products for what people are looking for. It is difficult to get listed by them and get seen by them, but SEO is a whole nother topic that we could do a whole session on too, of how to rank in Google. So they are good for that. They're built with SEO in mind. So Shopify is built to help you rank. You know, you still have to put in the work to do it. I guess that would be my full answer to that. And SEO, again, is one of those things that we can spend a whole entire hour on, and we would only be touching the surface.
And it takes a few weeks before it even starts to register with Google.
Yep.
So don't
it takes weeks before it even crawls in. Exactly. Yep. And it, you know, it takes about 3 months for you to even show up on the front page, even if you're doing a really good job. It just takes time. It's one of the things that takes time, but definitely worth it to do.
I'm sure you can.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I'm talking about how to link your different social media platform to Shopify. So your customer on Facebook can just also shop from there. You know, Twitter customers, Snapchat, stuff like that. Can you do it for me?
You can. Yep. Shopify will link directly into your Facebook.
And it will have can Shopify help me also building the platforms on those social media to have the same theme, the same catalogs, or just only a link?
No, you can sync your catalogs and your collections and everything in your Shopify account to your Facebook account. They do have an app in here to do that.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I probably won't touch on that today, but I can show you, since you're in the zone all the time. I can show you how and where to find that at some point as well. All right. So inside the legal section, the reason why I love Shopify for this as well, they make it really, really easy to. Yep, we're going to go through the taxes too. So I think I have them both open. Yeah. Okay. So in the legal side of things, a refund policy, I can click create from template, and they give me this kind of templated version of a refund policy. I can click in here and edit this to say what I want it to say. But the awesome part of it is also with the privacy policy, I can create it from a template. They're going to add in my business name and my email to the parts where it needs to be added. So I don't have to spend a ton of time if I'm trying to launch quick into writing this all out myself. Here it is, terms of service, etc. Shipping policy, you do yourself. They don't give you a template for that. And that's just because there's so many options. That is something you need to decide. But in here, you want to make sure you set these up before you go live, just to protect yourself and just so you know that they're on here. Having a refund policy just builds trust with your customers too. So it's good to have it in here. Feel free to look through it. And this is really, again, personal preference. You decide what your refund policy is, how many days that you'll do return, if there's damages, etc. That's up to you. But they do give you these nice templates that you just auto-generate to get started. So that's really nice in here. All right, and then last but not least on my list to go through is taxes. So on individual products, you can select whether or not they're going to be taxed. So I know especially in the food industry, bundles of 6 don't get taxed. But if I'm selling 3 cookies or 1 cookie or 1 lobster or 3, they do get taxed. There's a ton of different rules, and this completely depends on your industry. So saying that straight off the bat, they tell you over here, learn more about the taxes section. This is something you need to figure out for your business and your business alone. But it shouldn't be too much of a hassle as long as you can talk to someone really under like a half an hour or less. They should be able to guide you on where you need to charge tax, where you don't need to charge tax, and you can set up your profiles in here. So for Canada, if I click set up for taxes, and I can add my tax account, it's going to give me a breakdown of, I think I actually need to click on it. PEI. It's going to give me a breakdown over here of the provincial tax broken down by province. So it does that for me, and I can override the taxes here if I need to.
And if you're not making $30,000, you do not need to charge taxes.
Exactly.
Or register for taxes.
Right. So that's the same. Yeah, that's just the business information stuff. So this part itself, if you want to be charging taxes on specific products, just make sure you know the rules and regulations around your industry. So food, for example, is going to be different than jewelry, which is going to be different than art, etc., etc. So that's really something you need to figure out for your own business. But again, you come in here, you add where you're from, you put in your registration number, it's going to calculate these things for you so you don't have to do it yourself. But again, you need to know what you're charging tax on and what you're not charging tax on. And under each individual product, as we've seen, you can click that box, charge tax on this product, don't charge tax on this product. So that is the quick guide on how to launch a store. So right now, I set up everything. If I took off my password, I can now go to my store. I have 2 things I can buy, and I can start guiding people to my store tomorrow morning, and they can start buying right away.
That was my next question. Okay, so you've got it all set up.
Right.
Now what? How do you get the people to you? I mean, the SEO helps, but really,
so
if you're starting from the beginning and nobody knows you, how do you get the people in there? And I know it's social media and stuff, but how do you actually get them? If you don't have the followers, you can't get the people.
And how to start marketing and getting the followers.
Yeah.
I actually did like a 3-hour session on this, and I feel like it might be recorded. So I'll get Rachel to see it. We'll see if we have that recorded and send it out. But it could also be a follow-up session to this of how to start marketing your store, because that's actually what I do for a living, is marketing. So that makes it a lot simpler. And we could do it by examples, or if you have a case study, if you want to actually give me, if once you set up your store, we can do a webinar and just use your store as an example and do like a marketing kind of thing around that. But again, that's a whole nother couple hours.
Oh yeah, no, I realize that. So if you do have a recorded one, if you can send it out, that would be
appreciated. Definitely.
And if you are going to do one, I follow Startup Zone, so I'll look for it. But
yeah,
because it's good to give a shot, but if it's not out there,
it
doesn't do any good.
Exactly. So once you get this set up, it is out there, it exists, you can start taking payments. How do you get people to come to your site? Well, that's a whole nother story. Marketing is a whole nother beast in itself. Yeah. And honestly, setting up a store and getting it ready to go is easier than marketing your store, in my own opinion. But
I agree.
Yeah. And again, though, so there's still some things in here we haven't touched on. That's all I'm going to do for today. But you are able to set up discounts, for example. If you wanted to do discount codes, percentages off, or fixed amounts off, you can set that up. So perhaps up in that announcement bar, first-time customers get 10% off, and you make a discount code for that. That's something you could do. The app section in here, this is where I can add cool apps to my thing. So if I wanted to create a video, I can add an app to help me do that. There's a million apps you can possibly use with this. So again, won't go into it, but it's there. The marketing side of things, this is where I can start sending out my emails. And just so you know, emails through Shopify are already pre-set up. So when I get my first order, the customer emails are already going out. I'm already getting an admin email. It's already set up. It's already good to go. You don't really have to do anything there. It's branded. It's good. And you can set up more emails through here. They have the abandoned cart checkout already set up in Shopify, which is extremely important because abandoned cart is actually where you will make a ton of money. They say that, you know, it's almost like 33%, or so, I don't want to say a number because that's wrong. That's like old news back from 2018. 33% of your sales will come through abandoned carts, and that's crazy. So you want to make sure you have this set up so that if someone comes and abandons something, they're getting that email that's already going back. But again, it's already activated. They do that for you. They know how important it is. But there is, again, we could do a whole session on all the email campaigns you should be doing if you're using Shopify, which is like getting people to sign up for a newsletter. So you should have like a 7 email series that's like introducing people to your brand and showing them your different products. If someone buys something, you should have an upsell series after that, showing them different products or something they might need, especially if it's something like hand sanitizer they might need month after month. You want to send a reminder email, automated of course, month after month to remind them to buy, perhaps. There's tons of campaigns, there's win back campaigns, etc. And that's kind of actually why I have this pulled up too. There's an e-commerce marketing mastery course, and it's completely all surrounded around Shopify that you can take. And I've done this course and it's excellent, that goes into email marketing, all the email marketing you possibly imagine, Facebook marketing, social media, how to organize your product pages, your collection pages, why you need to shoot videos, what videos to shoot, the content that needs to be in them, etc., etc. There's literally so much amazing facts to be used in this. I did this course, and the reason I'm recommending it is because I've used information I've done in this course 4 different Shopify stores, and it has made a difference, and it does increase sales. So if it is something you want to dig into and learn a lot more about, the very specifics, the tiny details, check it out, because you're going to learn a ton from this course and learn. They've done all the hard work for us. They've done all the testing to see, you know, if I have 3 products across versus 4, or if I send out this email in this time frame, or if I send it out 2 days later, what is the difference monetarily that I'm going to make back from that? And they show you all these case studies, and they teach you why and how. And I personally love examples and seeing those studies done, so that I know that the information that I'm getting is coming from someone that's actually done the work.
And Rachel sent a note saying the Startup Zone YouTube channel has a lot of the past marketing events. Also feel free to reach out to her directly to learn more about her offerings. Rachel at startupzone.ca.
Perfect. Cool. Then just a few more small things, the analytics side of things. This is where you'll see where all your customers came in, where they came from, your products sold, all the information you can imagine under here. Again, with our analytics that we talked about through Google and with Facebook, all those 3 things working together will really give you an incredible view of what your store is and who's coming into it. But Shopify does have an amazing dashboard with all the info you could possibly imagine, your customer side of things, the amount of orders that you'll have coming through, and otherwise just setting it up through Facebook and that kind of stuff. You do that through here too. You can do it through an app or through a point of sale, but we won't set that up right now. And that's everything. So right now I'm good to launch, and that's really as simple as it is. As long as you have a couple pictures and a logo and a color and get a few products under your belt, you can even just start with 2. You can be ready to sell by the next day. And it is good to just start.
How much is Shopify outside of the free trial?
It's $29 a month, and I do believe that's US, but they do have pricing plans. So if I click into settings, well, not payments, I'm going to open it up here, because there is different things you get for different price scales. Oh, select a plan. Okay, so $29 a month, and that's the basic Shopify. But really, you get pretty much everything that you need through this. The $79 a month allows you to have gift cards. and some hardware support. And then the $2.99 a month, this would be for a huge company. And they do the third-party calculated shipping rates through here, really advanced reporting. I wouldn't say anyone really needs this version, because if you're on the $29 a month version and you need the third-party calculated shipping rates, or there's very specific features that you need through Shopify, if you contact their support, they will give you the special things on those advanced versions for $10 extra a month if it's just that thing that you need. So if you're looking at this and you're like, oh, I really want to be able to have my FedEx, if you have an account with FedEx and they give you special discounted rates through FedEx because you have a really good relationship with them and you've been using them for years, and you want those discounted rates to be applied to your Shopify store, you can give them a call and say, hey, I only need this $29 a month, but I want to be able to connect my personal account in here. They'll say, okay, it's an extra this much a month, and you can have that feature, and we'll turn it on for you, because they've definitely done that before for me. So they're really reasonable. So never hesitate to reach out to them if there's something that you do want, but you don't want to upgrade to a whole new store, because really this has more to do with the reporting and the analytics than it does about the features.
And also the rates are different. If it's $29 a month, it's 2.9 instead of 2.4.
Right. Yeah, and then it goes down the higher up you get. So 2.7, 2.4. And again, 2.9 is pretty much a standard across the board of what you're going to find through everyone. Yeah, any other questions?
Yes, Chelsea, can I create for my customers loyalty program, where can I have customer name, any order he made, and points against his order?
Sorry, you broke up for me in the beginning there. Could you repeat that?
Can I have a loyalty program linked to my Shopify account?
Yeah, they actually there's apps for that, basically. There's really great loyalty programs that you can get through the App Store. So I'm just going to click on it just to show you. And I do have to wrap up in the next 2 minutes. So if anyone else has any questions, you can just let me know. There's this really great loyalty app called Smile. Rewards and loyalty. And you can really set this up however you want. But it can give points, and you can set up why people get points, when people get points, and what they can use those points towards, what their value is, etc. So that's a really cool app that I would recommend, and I've used before. And they have a pretty high rating.
Okay. And how much is it?
It is on a sliding scale. Okay. So that's another one where I would say if you add this app to your store and you want to use it long term, they have pricing tiers. So just contact them, let them know exactly what you're using it for, and they'll help you come up with like a plan that works for you. And I would say that with any apps on here, like if it's a standard thing under like $10, yeah, sure, $10 is really fair. If it's something that you're going to end up paying, like I'm sure Smile goes up to probably like $2.99 a month, just like Shopify does, for all the features that they have. If you wanted like the whole package of every single thing they could do, then contact them and just say, here's what I'm trying to do. What can you do for me? And that's really the best way to handle those situations.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? I think I have to wrap up now.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and if anyone has any questions, or if you guys have any very specific questions, especially when it comes to like the taxes or the shipping or that kind of thing, feel free to just reach out and we can talk one-on-one on those things, because I know they can be a pain in the butt, and I've never set up a store the same for shipping for anyone. It's always been custom and unique for every single store I've ever done. They've never been the same. Okay, awesome. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and have a good day, everybody.
Thanks so much, Chelsea.
See ya. Bye, guys.